APC leaders and delegation visits President Muhammadu Buhari. They are impressed with the president's stewardship to the nation, endorses him to run in 2019. Osun State local government election has not been held in 11 years. The state electoral body says it will go ahead with its schedule to hold one this Saturday, but litigations hang over it. Well, many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Well, let's begin outside of Nigeria for a story that we've been following since the issues came to a head. Well, George Oponwe has officially assumed work as Liberian president. A former international football star, George Weah, was sworn in as Liberia's new president in the country's first transition between democratically elected leaders since 1944. George Weah took over from Nobel laureate Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who spent 12 years at the helm of steering the West African nation away from the trauma of a civil war. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Senate President Bukola Saraki, Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha among dignitaries at a swearing-in ceremony. Well, a delegation of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC visited the president today, asking him to let the ongoing railway projects cover the southeast. The delegation, comprising serving government officials, politicians, and businessmen, are impressed with President Buhari's stewardship, especially in provision of infrastructure in the region. The spokesperson of the delegation and Minister of Science and Technology says projects cited in the southeast will ultimately benefit the entire country. The group also restates its endorsement of the president to contest in 2019.
The APC leadership in the southeast met on the 31st of December last year in Uburu and endorsed the president for second term, and we've come today to reaffirm that and to assure Mr. President that the party is working very hard to win elections in future elections. When you are building a railway network, it's important that all major commercial towns are linked up by rail, and also gas distribution. And the president gave direct instructions that this should be done, and we are very happy. It's not good. It's not just good for the southeast; it's good for the nation. So we mentioned all this, and yes, we also thanked the president for the role that under his leadership the federal government is playing with respect to the burial of one of our very great sons, the former vice president of this great nation, Dr. Alex Ekwueme. We asked the president that the people of the Southeast would be happy if a national asset is named after him.
Well, then, let's talk some local politics now. And, well, this will serve as perhaps a good template for discussion on all other state local government election. They do say that winner takes all in most of the states of the Federation. But the chairman, Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSIEC, Chief Segun Oladiton, has faulted all litigations against the conduct of the local government election scheduled for January 27, 2018. Let me make it clear. January 27 is actually the next Saturday that we're looking at, just away, a few days away. The OSIEC chairman said the election will hold as scheduled. Oladiton said, as a lawyer of repute, the litigations, when studied critically, are not sufficient nor capable of stopping the election. He said they sought to the leave of court to get OSIEC served out of jurisdiction, but they served at the liaison office of Osun State in Abuja. He explained that they were not served leave of court restraining them from conducting the election. And for the records, the state has not held a local government election in 11 years. Well, let's get a conversation started. I have that man here. Is the chairman of Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSIEC, Chief Segun Oladitan. Thank you so much for your time on the program tonight.
Thank you, okay.
There is an injunction stopping the election of Saturday, the 27th. Why are you going ahead with this election?
Well, there is an injunction purportedly stopping us from going on. One, let's start from this, the elementary issue. The case was instituted in the Federal High Court in Abuja, and they obtained leave to serve us, that's OSIEC, outside jurisdiction. But they purportedly served us at the Osun liaison office in Abuja. If they obtain leave to serve outside jurisdiction and they serve within jurisdiction, it is contradictory. Two,
but have you seen the service of the notice of the injunction?
Let me tell you this.
You said they served it in Abuja.
They served it in Abuja.
But have you gotten it? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Up to now? But as the state government, if it's in the liaison office of the state in Abuja, that must have been transmitted to you by now.
You should understand one thing, that Osun Independent Electoral Commission is a creation of the Constitution. We are expected to operate independently of the state.
How did you know you were served in Abuja?
Because the Attorney General informed me that there is an injunction purportedly served against us, and I said, I shall not subject myself to the jurisdiction of that court, because ordinarily, issues concerning local government election is for the state high court, not for the federal high court.
In Abuja?
In Abuja. No, even not for the federal high court at all. It is for the state
high court. So it's out of jurisdiction for you.
The first issue is jurisdiction as regards geographical jurisdiction. Two, jurisdiction as regards the law concerning it. So we are not to be served outside jurisdiction. They served in
But if you owed if you're not happy with the injunction being served, because an injunction is a partial judgment by a court of law.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, if you're not happy with it, shouldn't you go to court to fight that instead of saying that you will not put yourself under that?
Yes, we did. We had representation at the High Court and the Federal High Court saying that we are appearing under protest. In essence, by the time you say you are appearing under protest, the issue of that, why are you protesting, becomes a fundamental issue. But let me tell you something else, that this injunction was obtained ex parte.
Okay. For our viewers who are not familiar with the law terminologies,
yes,
ex parte means what?
Ex parte means it was obtained in court without the knowledge and participation of the other party.
That is OSIEC.
OSIEC.
But you